know you got to introduce the show and everything, Kevin, but Mike, last week you
made fun of Anthony Davis. I can't believe he got hurt again. And now 5 days later we have him.
You fixed the
I did not even think about it.
You fixed the Rangers radio or TV network. You gave us.
I did.
You fixed all of it.
Yep.
And now it's time for everybody to ask you, how are you going to fix this? This is a situation that we need your help fixing. So I'd appreciate that, Mike. Thanks, Kevin.
Not fixable.
Let me have this soapbox.
I don't mind trading Luka, Kevin. I have no complaint about trading Luka. I understand all of his faults. To get what you got, is disgraceful.
Because if you were going to make that trade, ever in your mind, it was for 7,000 picks.
Okay.
Never for a player swap like this.
So let's use the other big NBA news of the weekend, which actually feels like oddly irrelevant in the wake.
I honestly don't know, even know if I know what it is.
Exactly.
I stopped following Shams.
And you know what? By the way, for people that are curious, yes, the Stars made what I believe could be a damn fine trade on Saturday.
They're all in.
But it doesn't.
They even said it on their Twitter.
It doesn't matter.
Got McDavid?
So
not that all in.
Yeah, we did, and we traded our backup goalie to Smith to make it happen. Yeah, it was great. So I'm going to boil it down to like some of the essentials, and I know there were other players in this, like Huerter and Zach Collins and stuff, but essentially, De'Aaron Fox is going to San Antonio. Now, the Bulls are in this mix, and the Bulls do get a first-round pick back, or they just get their own first-round pick back in 2025. But to make this happen, the Sacramento Kings get Zach LaVine, a 2025 first-round pick. By the way, that's this year, kids, in case you're curious. I know it is top 14 protected, but that's this year. A second-round pick this year, a first-round pick in 2027, a second-round pick in 2028, and a second-round pick in 2028. Now, what I want to point out with that is that De'Aaron Fox is a darn good player.
He is
right?
a darn good player.
He is not.
It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a minute for him to really become who he is.
He is not in Luka's league. And let's point this out. Zach LaVine might be having the best season of his career. And in return for De'Aaron Fox, the Kings got Zach LaVine and count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 draft picks, all of which they get before the Mavericks get their one pick. I'm going to say that again.
By the way, the Mavericks traded a pick too.
Yes, they did. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. The Sacramento Kings got 5 picks, 2 firsts and 3 seconds, all of which they get before the Mavericks get the one pick that they got for Luka. Now, I know Anthony Davis is a damn fine player. I'm not here to dispute that. I understand that the Mavericks had issues with Luka. But to make this trade and not shop it around, to me, Mike, you just said it. I'm in total agreement with you. It's GM malpractice, as one article said, and it's tough to argue against that. Mm-hmm. And I know there's going to be there's a whole lot more to this. I just feel like we're missing the one key piece that I just don't understand, that nobody can seem to tell me, because I talked to a whole lot of people and they're like, oh, it could be this, could be that, could be whatever this weekend. But I haven't got anybody who's definitively said, well, it's because of this. You just can't say that on air. I haven't found out what that piece is.
It's negligence. It is professional misconduct, dereliction of duty, if you will.
Yeah.
It's all of those things that you just said regarding malpractice. You don't do it that way. Every businessman out there goes and finds leverage somehow. Instead of taking the first, you go to a car dealership and they're just like, hey, we're going to give you this car for this price. And you're like, deal. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. No, that's not how you do it. You say, I'd like to, Alec, whenever you bought your car, did you take the first price that they gave you?
Nope.
See, you work it. You work the deal.
Yeah.
And they didn't work a deal at all. By the way, Myles Garrett has requested a trade. So maybe the Cowboys can win. Maybe the Cowboys can win the city back.
No. We can do this. We can do this. I will give you DeMarcus Lawrence. Don't worry about the fact that he's not going to be under contract. I can avoid year. I can pretend it's a contract year. Well, I will give you DeMarcus Lawrence and conditional 6th round pick. Let's Let's make it happen, Cleveland.
So that's improvement.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, I bet that is kind of what the Cowboys do think. You know what? That's a great example. The Mavericks traded Luka for what the Cowboys seem to think every free agent should be willing to sign with here.
I don't even think the Cowboys would have made this kind of trade. Honestly, I don't think that
you might be right.
I know that GM was not making a trade like that. For one, he loves stars too much. He loves star players. He would never make a trade like that for any reason. You couldn't offer him enough. And there was a time where I thought you couldn't offer the Mavericks enough. You couldn't offer them anything. It was ridiculous. It was laughable to even consider that Luka wouldn't be in a Mavericks jersey. That was a laugh. Anytime people would say it, I would laugh in their face and knock their drink on the ground and then help them pick the drink up and then knock it down again because it sounded that stupid. And here we are with a GM that was like, I think this is the best thing for the team. It's my job to make tough decisions here.
Now, Corey, you said that people fall into one of two categories, how they found out about this trade. Either...
Oh, yeah. I guess Jerry did trade Amari Cooper for a 5th or 6th round pick, so maybe he would.
This is even worse than that. But yeah, actually, I could see
It's not trading Amari Cooper.
All right. You know what? Let's trade Micah.
It's Joe Burrow. It's trading Joe Burrow for that.
Joey Bosa.
For Dak Prescott.
Yeah, let's trade. Yeah. Actually, yes. So I was not in the category that was still awake, nor was I in the category of people who found out in the morning. I went to sleep early on Saturday because I hadn't been feeling super well and I was supposed to rest my voice and stuff like that. Then my phone rang at about midnight. Well, Brandon was working, so I always check my phone to see if it's Brandon. It was not Brandon. And I was like, what the hell? Why is somebody calling me at midnight? So didn't answer that call. Looked at my phone and it said, you have 17 text messages. And I was like, what the hell? Why? Zoop. Swipe up. A bunch of the text messages, because you get like the preview text in there, and it was like, this isn't real, right? This can't be real. What the hell is going on? And it wasn't, if it was just one person, and the first person I clicked on, I was like, that's stupid. You're stupid for thinking this is real. And then I clicked on the next one, and it was the same thing about the Luka trade. And the next one. And then I clicked on our station text, which all started with Tim getting us fired up to go to Radio Row.
Hey, dude.
As we should be.
Let's go.
And it quickly devolved into, what the hell are the Mavericks doing? And then I was like, hold on, what? This is real? And then I spent like the next 2 hours thinking about it, reading about it, tweeting about it, listening to that Bob Schneider song, and trying to make my peace with it before I went back to sleep. And then in the morning, my wife goes, wow, did you know that Luka got traded? I was like, yes. Yes, I did.
I spent most of the morning, Mike, explaining to my wife that it was her fault that this happened and she was like, no, it's not. Just because I woke you up and told you the news doesn't mean that it's my fault. And I was like, you're the one that gave me the news. I was asleep. I went to bed at around 11 o'clock that night. Woke up. She's shaking me. Hey, the Mavericks just traded Luka. I said, shut up. Go back to sleep. This is
My
stupid.
wife is stupid.
Pretty much is what I was thinking at the time.
Oh, my goodness.
And
That's what I thought about my son.
and that's what happened. Mike, she could have let me sleep another hour, sleep another 45 minutes, and live in a world where for 45 more minutes, we still had Luka. But she decided it was time to wake me up and say, let me give you spoiled news. Let me ruin your Sunday by telling you what just happened. And then the rest of the day, Mike, everywhere I went, and Alec and I have discussed this, everywhere I went, people could tell that I was pissed off about something. They could see it on my face because I would just shake my head no. Just at the thought of what just happened. No, there's no way that happened, idiots, is what I was going through my mind all day long.
Yeah, well, I just can't take it. Like the NBA was a struggle for me this year, and now I'm just like, I can't do
Can you
this.
start that again? Let's just say people miss crosstalk or whatever. Can you go back to kind of like your mission statement and everything? Because this didn't just happen to you on Saturday.
This was before the Luka trade. I was just like, man, the NBA, watching Spencer Dinwiddie and Maxi Kleber jack up like a combined 10 3-pointers a game. Like, they're not good shooters. And then You're watching 83-point shots a game, and you're watching you can double dribble, you can carry the basketball. It's a 4-step league now. You can actually triple jump, and they're like, it's fine. You've jumped 3 times, but it's fine. You can pick up your pivot foot multiple times. It doesn't like this isn't super entertaining. And then players don't play much. And then when they do play, you're wondering, are they caring about this game at all?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is tough. But I do love the Dallas Mavericks. They are my favorite team, or were my favorite team. Look, I appreciated Luka at times, hated Luka at other times, and I wasn't watching other NBA basketball games. I would turn on TNT or turn on ESPN. I'd watch 3 minutes and go, this isn't entertaining to me. I don't know what's happening to me. This was my sport that I loved watching the most. This sport is losing its entertainment value for me. And now with this news, with Luka now gone and the Mavs' future ruined, like their future is really, really bad. I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to watch it. I have no connection to Anthony Davis. Don't care about him. I don't hate him. I don't care about him. Kyrie, he's been great, but he's not a Maverick. Like, he's gone everywhere. It's fine. Yeah. Kyrie's been great. Nothing against Kyrie, but I'm not watching Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. I don't care about it. I don't think it's going to work out because I think they're going to struggle with injuries the next 2 years and then become a consistent lottery team. And I'm like, I don't need to go through this. I don't really like watching the sport anymore. I don't have superstars that I love. I don't like watching Anthony Edwards shoot 11 three-pointers a game. I'm not even making up that number. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a true number. Like, it's not fun. So I'm like, all right, if it's not fun, what's the point?
I do want to say, and I heard you yesterday, Kevin. I found out I heard you, and I heard you, Mike, yesterday. Our station was awesome yesterday. Like, yeah. that was fantastic work by all of our weekend hosts yesterday. Phenomenal job. But Kevin, he was fun to watch. You had a special dude on the court. You knew every time that he took the court, he was the best player on the court that night, or arguably the best player on the court.
They played Denver.
Either way, you knew that you were walking into a game and you were feeling confident that you were going to win, and you gave that up. Every GM searches their life to find that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Nico said, you know what? I want to see what life's like without it. And that has every person in DFW that has ever paid attention to the Mavericks baffled right now.
Look, this is probably something that we can expand on throughout the show. I'm just curious. I want to start with you, Mike. I don't think it would have made a difference, but I just want to check. If it was something more like sub out Max Christie and we'll put in Dalton Connect. So it was Anthony Davis, Dalton Connect, 3 first-round picks, and like 1 or 2 first-round swaps. Would that have made any difference? Because one of the things you mentioned that I definitely agree with is the future part. Would that have made a difference? Because then you're like, well, this sucks to lose Luka, but now I got my 2 first-round picks this year or whatever, and then another one in 26, 27, however it would, or 28, however it would have broken down.
Yes, I wouldn't have been in love with the trade still.
Sure.
I think Anthony Davis is close to the end of his career. It would have made more sense, especially if you'd have said, what if I would have told you they almost said yes to Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick? And you're trading a second-round pick away. Not that second-round pick is like super valuable, but it's like you're not even gaining extra picks. You traded you got a first-round pick, traded away a second-round pick. It helps out, but I'd be like, well, if you're going to make me choose between the two, this is way better. I mean, I do know this. Look, one of my buddies who's an agent in the NBA used to be part of Max Christie. I'm assuming he still has the same agency. I do know this. When Max Christie worked out for the Mavericks in the draft, I believe that was the Jaden Hardy draft where the Mavericks loved Max Christie's workout.
Okay.
He got drafted in the second round. Like, it wasn't like they loved him so much they were trying to get into the top 10 to take him. They just loved that, like, if we can somehow get into the late first or the early second, we really want to get this guy. It ended up that they got into the early second and like Jaden Hardy more, or Max Christie had just been taken. I honestly forget. So I do know that out of Michigan State, they really liked Max Christie. Fine. For Luka Doncic, hell, why didn't we trade Bernard James for freaking Anthony Davis 10 years ago then? Why didn't New Orleans say yes to that? Like, that's about what we did here. But this is frustrating because if you'd have told me, hey, you know what? Big connection with Orlando. That coach and Luka seem to love each other to death. They both, almost look like they want to make out with each other when they're playing the Orlando Magic. How, when he's near the bench and everything, they're just smiling at each other like, I can't believe I get to see you again, my long-lost lover. All right, then.
I'll take Paolo.
Yeah, if you call up Orlando and you say, we want Paolo Banchero and Jalen Suggs, I think they have to truly think about that. We don't even want any draft picks.
They have to think about it for sure.
We want Banchero and Jalen Suggs. Well, those, all right, they're younger guys. Maybe they're not ready to win a championship yet. But they got it. Dude, we're getting a 25-year-old who's first team All-NBA all the time. The coach is in love with him. They have a relationship. We might be able to keep Luka Doncic. This might make Orlando relevant again in the NBA. They have to really think about that. You didn't want to make that call because 32-year-old broke down Anthony Davis is the best thing.
Or maybe they just saw how talented Kessler Edwards is, and they thought, you know what? We got the next one.
So
I forgot he probably played 50 minutes last night.
It is wild, Kevin. 2 years ago, you don't have any of your starters. Your starters are completely different. Whole new roster.
So we're about to talk to Devin Harris, and hopefully we'll get to this question there, but it's a question I want to continue to ask you guys throughout the day. I'm not saying this, but do you think, maybe in some weird way, the Mavericks think that Luka is coming near the end of his high level of play? That's
fine.
the only thing I can.
Then trade him.
Yeah.
I don't mind trading him. Yeah, that's a great thought. Trade him.
Get more. Yeah. I don't.
Maybe he has a major issue off the court.
Yeah.
That we can't say we know because we don't know, but maybe he does. And maybe his career is coming to a close in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
That might be true. So
you still could have gotten. Okay.
Yeah.